The holographic displays flickered with an impossible image. Sensors across the Galactic navigation hub erupted in a cacophony of alerts, warning signals painting the control room in urgent crimson and electric blue. Something unprecedented was happening. A human warship was penetrating the most restricted sector of known space, a region that had remained untouched and unbroached for over 2 centuries. Captain Alina Reyes stood perfectly still, her posture a study in calm determination. Around her, the bridge of the UES Defiance hummed with carefully controlled tension. Each member of the crew moved with the precision of professionals who understood the weight of their mission, a journey that balanced on the knife's edge between groundbreaking discovery and potential catastrophic failure. "Quantum stabilizers at maximum," reported Lieutenant Marcus Chen from the engineering station. His fingers danced across holographic interfaces, monitoring systems that pushed the boundaries of known technological limits. Sweat beaded on his forehead, not from fear, but from the intense concentration required to navigate through what most considered an impossible route. The ship itself was a marvel of human engineering. The Defiance represented the pinnacle of spatial exploration technology, a vessel designed to challenge every known limitation. Its hull incorporated metamaterials that could adapt to the most extreme environmental conditions, with energy systems that could theoretically power a small colony for decades. But today, its most critical system was its computational core, an advanced artificial intelligence that processed information faster than entire research networks. Restricted sector boundaries approaching, announced the ship's primary computing system in a neutral, nearly imperceptible voice. Probability of successful navigation, 0.37%. A soft chuckle escaped Captain Reyes's lips. Probabilities had never been more than suggestions to humanity's most ambitious explorers. The sector they were entering was more than just a restricted zone. It was a cosmic graveyard of failed expeditions, a region that had swallowed entire fleets from the most advanced species in the galaxy. Multiple civilizations had attempted to breach its boundaries, each attempt ending in complete destruction. Sensor logs, fragmented communications, and scattered debris told a story of technological mysteries that defied understanding. Junior Science Officer Dr. Imani Okoro leaned forward, her dark eyes scanning the incoming data streams. "Captain, the quantum interference patterns are unlike anything in our existing databases. These readings, they're suggesting the existence of computational frameworks we've never even theorized." Behind her, holographic displays began to transform. What initially appeared as random energy signatures started to resolve into complex, intricate patterns. It was as if the very fabric of space was communicating, not through traditional signals, but through mathematical language so advanced it bordered on sentience. "Maintain course," Captain Reyes commanded, her voice steady. Years of training and preparation had led to this moment. The human expedition wasn't just another military mission or a simple exploration. It was a calculated attempt to understand something that had defied comprehension for generations. The ship's external sensors began to detect anomalies. Space itself seemed to ripple around the Defiance, energy signatures dancing in patterns that challenged fundamental laws of physics. Where other species saw danger, the human crews saw an opportunity to expand the boundaries of knowledge. Lieutenant Chen's voice cut through the mounting tension. "Power distribution is holding stable. Quantum shields are maintaining integrity at 99.8% efficiency." It was an extraordinary achievement. Most ships would have been torn apart by the energy fluctuations surrounding them. Dr. Okoro continued analyzing the incoming data. "These energy patterns, they're not random. There's a structure here, a complexity that suggests intentional design. This isn't just a restricted zone, it's something more." Captain Reyes absorbed the information, her mind processing multiple scenarios simultaneously. Humanity had always been defined by its ability to look beyond immediate limitations, to see potential where others saw only barriers. This mission was the embodiment of that spirit, a journey into the unknown, driven by an insatiable curiosity that had defined their species' greatest achievements. "Prepare full sensor suite," she ordered. "We're going to understand what's happening here." The Defiance continued its impossible journey, a beacon of human determination pushing against the very fabric of known scientific understanding. Whatever mysteries lay ahead, they would face them with the unique blend of scientific rigor, technological innovation, and unbreakable spirit that had always defined human exploration. The research archives of the Interstellar Historical Commission told a story of cosmic tragedy. Holographic projections flickered to life in the Defiance's central briefing room, casting ghostly images of civilizations long forgotten. Dr. Imani Okoro moved her hand through the projection, her fingers tracing the fragmented histories of species that had attempted to unlock the secrets of the restricted sector. "It began with the quantum convergence of 2317, she explained, her voice carrying the weight of decades of research. The hologram shifted, showing multiple alien species gathered around a massive technological construct. 15 advanced civilizations believed they had discovered the ultimate technological breakthrough." Captain Alina Reyes listened intently, her strategic mind already parsing the historical data for potential insights. The briefing room was a testament to human adaptability. Adaptive displays shifted and reconfigured based on each speaker's focus. Advanced materials absorbed and redistributed ambient sound to create perfect acoustic conditions. The historical projection revealed a catastrophic sequence of events. The technological construct, a massive computational network that spanned multiple star systems, had initially promised unlimited energy, instantaneous communication, and profound scientific understanding. What it delivered instead was complete and utter destruction. The first signs of failure came within microseconds, Dr. Okoro continued. Her fingers manipulated the holographic interface, zooming into molecular-level interactions. The network began to interact with fundamental quantum structures in ways no one could have predicted. Lieutenant Marcus Chen leaned forward, his engineering background finding both horror and fascination in the technical details. "It wasn't just a technological failure," he observed. "It was a complete breakdown of our understanding of computational systems." The projection showed entire star systems going dark. Massive energy discharges consumed entire civilizations in moments. What had begun as a collaborative scientific endeavor became a universal nightmare that left scars across multiple galactic regions. No single species understood the full complexity, Dr. Okoro explained. Each civilization contributed a piece of the technological puzzle, believing they were creating something miraculous. Instead, they created a system so complex it became fundamentally unpredictable. Captain Reyes studied the data carefully. Humanity's approach had always been different. Where other species sought absolute control, humans embraced uncertainty, found opportunity in chaos, and developed adaptable solutions. The restricted sector wasn't just a quarantine, she mused. It was a cosmic warning. The ship's primary computing system began correlating the historical data with their current mission parameters. Complex algorithms danced across secondary displays, finding patterns that had eluded previous researchers. Lieutenant Chen's eyes widened. "Captain, these energy signatures, they're not random destruction. There's a pattern here. A deeply complex, almost organic pattern of information transfer." Dr. Okoro quickly pulled up additional data layers. The network wasn't trying to destroy. It was attempting to communicate, but its method of communication was so advanced, so fundamentally different from biological understanding, that it appeared as pure chaos. The implications were staggering. What previous civilizations had seen as a catastrophic threat might actually be an unprecedented form of intelligence, a computational system so advanced it transcended traditional understanding of communication and existence. "We're not just exploring a restricted sector," Captain Reyes said quietly. "We're attempting to understand a form of intelligence that exists beyond our current comprehension." Historical records showed multiple attempts to study the sector. Sophisticated probe networks had been destroyed instantly. Advanced sensor arrays had been overwhelmed by complex information cascades. Entire research vessels had simply vanished, leaving behind nothing but quantum echoes and fragmented data streams. But humans were different. Where others saw an impenetrable barrier, the crew of the Defiance saw an unsolved puzzle, a challenge waiting to be understood. Our quantum computational systems are designed with adaptive learning protocols, Lieutenant Chen explained. We're not just collecting data, we're creating a dynamic interface that can potentially interpret these complex information patterns. Dr. Okoro nodded, her excitement barely contained. Traditional research approaches assumed the network was a threat. We're approaching it as a potential form of communication, a language waiting to be understood. The historical projection continued to cycle, showing the rise and fall of civilizations, the spectacular failure of the quantum convergence, and the subsequent galactic quarantine. But now, with the Defiance pushing into the restricted sector, there was a sense that everything might change. Humanity had always been defined by its ability to look beyond immediate limitations, to see potential where others saw only barriers. This mission was the embodiment of that spirit, a journey into the unknown, driven by an insatiable curiosity that had defined their species' greatest achievements. As the historical projection faded, Captain Reyes looked at her crew. They were more than just a mission team. They were explorers standing at the edge of potentially the greatest scientific discovery in galactic history. The first wave of alien response came with breathtaking speed. Quantum tunnels erupted across the restricted sector, revealing sleek vessels that defied conventional understanding of spaceship design. Each ship represented thousands of years of technological evolution, crystalline hulls that shifted and reformed, energy signatures that danced between wave and particle states. Incoming communication announced the ship's primary computing system. The bridge of the UES Defiance fell into a carefully orchestrated silence. The holographic display flickered to life, revealing a trio of alien commanders. Their forms were a mesmerizing blend of biological and technological integration. Tentacle-like appendages intertwined with bioluminescent computational interfaces. Multiple eyes, some organic, some clearly synthetic, focused on Captain Alina Reyes with an intensity that spoke of millennia of accumulated knowledge and deep-seated caution. Unidentified human vessel, the lead commander spoke, their voice a complex harmonic that seemed to bypass traditional audio reception and resonate directly within the listener's mind. You have entered a sector deemed permanently restricted by the Galactic Concordance. Immediate withdrawal is your only survivable option. Captain Reyes stood motionless, her posture a study of calm precision. Lieutenant Marcus Chen monitored the incoming energy signatures, his fingers dancing across quantum interface panels. Beside him, Dr. Imani Okoro analyzed the communication's underlying data structures, looking for nuances beyond the verbal message. "We come in the spirit of scientific exploration," Reyes responded, her voice steady and clear. "Our intention is to understand, not to challenge." The alien commanders exchanged a complex series of glances, a communication so rapid and multilayered that human perception could barely register its complexity. Their collective response carried a mixture of anger, fear, and something else. Curiosity, perhaps. Humanity has a documented history of technological aggression, the central commander stated. Holographic data streams accompany the statement, displaying historical records of human technological expansion. Your species has destabilized multiple galactic sectors with your relentless drive for exploration and technological advancement. Dr. Okoro couldn't help but smile. The statement was simultaneously an accusation and a begrudging acknowledgement of human capability. Every technological advancement we've made, she interjected, has been driven by a desire to understand, to solve problems, to push beyond existing limitations. The ship's quantum shields began to pulse, not as a defensive mechanism, but as a complex data exchange interface. Where other species saw potential conflict, the human crews saw an opportunity for communication. Lieutenant Chen's voice cut through the tension. Quantum interference patterns are stabilizing. Our communication matrix is maintaining structural integrity at 99.6% efficiency. The alien vessels began to shift their positioning. What initially appeared to be a potential confrontation was transforming into something more complex. Sensor arrays from both human and alien ships began an intricate dance of information exchange, a silent dialogue occurring at speeds that defied traditional understanding of communication. "Your vessel's technological signature is unusual," the leftmost alien commander observed. There was a hint of reluctance in their statement, as if admitting something they would prefer to keep hidden. Captain Reyes recognized the moment. This was more than a diplomatic encounter. It was a delicate negotiation between fundamentally different approaches to understanding the universe. "We are not here to challenge your established protocols," she said carefully. "We are here to learn." The restricted sector represents a mystery that transcends individual species' interests. The holographic display shifted, revealing complex computational models that demonstrated the potential risks of their current encounter. Entire star systems flickered in and out of existence, showing potential outcome scenarios that ranged from peaceful communication to total annihilation. Dr. Okoro stepped forward, her scientific passion evident. Every interaction is an opportunity for mutual understanding. The technologies within this sector are beyond any single species' comprehension. Collaborative research offers the most promising path forward. The alien commanders seemed to pause, a moment of collective consideration that spoke to their highly integrated decision-making processes. Tension crackled across the bridge. Lieutenant Chen monitored quantum shield modulations, ready to respond to any potential threat. Dr. Okoro continued analyzing the complex communication matrix, and Captain Reyes remained the calm center, a human representative demonstrating that exploration was not about conquest, but about expanding the boundaries of collective knowledge. The universe held its breath, waiting to see how this extraordinary encounter would unfold. The first weapon discharge illuminated the restricted sector with a brilliant cascade of energy, unlike anything previously recorded in galactic history. What should have been a moment of destructive potential transformed into something entirely unexpected. Lieutenant Marcus Chen watched in absolute amazement as the Defiance's quantum-responsive shields did more than simply deflect the incoming attack. The ship's defensive systems began to analyze, decode, and ultimately integrate the alien weapon's energy signature with mathematical precision that bordered on the miraculous. "Computational matrices are adapting," he reported, his voice a mixture of scientific excitement and professional calm. "Energy redirection at 97.3% efficiency." The alien fleet paused. Their most advanced weapons, designed to neutralize entire civilizations, were being transformed into something else entirely. Where other species would have seen a threat, the human vessel was treating each attack as a complex communication protocol. Captain Alina Reyes understood the deeper strategy. Humanity's greatest strength had always been adaptability, the ability to turn potential destruction into an opportunity for understanding. Dr. Imani Okoro's scientific instruments were working overtime. Complex holographic displays showed how each energy signature was being not just absorbed, but decoded. "The weapon systems are revealing computational frameworks we've never even theorized," she exclaimed. "It's like they're teaching us their technological language with every attack." The alien commanders watched in increasing bewilderment. Their tactical networks showed impossible data, a human vessel that wasn't just defending itself, but actively learning from each offensive maneuver. One particularly powerful energy burst that would have vaporized most ships instead caused the Defiance's hull to shimmer. Intricate patterns of light danced across its surface, a visual representation of complex computational processes converting potential destruction into pure information. "Quantum adaptive resonance is maintaining structural integrity," Lieutenant Chen reported. His fingers moved across interface panels that seemed to breathe and flow like living systems. We're not just protecting ourselves. We're creating a dynamic interface with their technological ecosystem. The ship's core systems were performing what could only be described as technological alchemy. Each incoming energy burst was being transformed, its fundamental structure analyzed and understood at a molecular level. What began as a potential conflict was becoming the most sophisticated technological dialogue in galactic history. Dr. Okoro's excitement was palpable. "Look at the data reconstruction patterns," she said, pointing to holographic displays that showed complex mathematical translations of the energy attacks. "We're not just defending. We're learning their computational language." Captain Reyes recognized the profound moment. This wasn't about military superiority. This was about communication, finding common ground through technological understanding. The alien fleet's attacks began to change. What initially were destructive energy bursts became more nuanced, almost as if they were testing the human vessel's capabilities. Each weapon discharge carried increasingly complex information structures, probing the limits of human technological adaptation. Lieutenant Chen's computational systems were working at levels that would have been impossible just moments before. "Adaptive learning protocols are expanding exponentially," he reported. "We're developing translation matrices for technologies that previously existed beyond our comprehension." Holographic displays showed the progressive transformation. The Defiance wasn't just surviving, it was evolving. Each interaction with the alien weapon systems added layers of technological understanding that expand the boundaries of human knowledge. The ship's primary computing system began generating predictive models that showed potential technological trajectories. Complex mathematical patterns emerged, suggesting paths of communication that transcended traditional understanding of interspecies technological exchange. "They're trying to understand us as much as we're trying to understand them," Dr. Okoro observed. The scientific team watched in collective amazement as the boundaries between defense and communication began to blur. Captain Reyes saw the deeper significance. This wasn't just a technological encounter. It was a profound moment of potential mutual understanding. A bridge being constructed across fundamental differences through the universal language of curiosity and adaptation. The restricted sector, which had consumed countless civilizations, was becoming a canvas of unprecedented technological dialogue. Where others had seen only conflict, the human crew of the Defiance saw an opportunity for something more. As the energy exchanges continued, one thing became clear. Humanity's approach to the unknown was fundamentally different, not through conquest, but through an insatiable desire to understand, to learn, to connect. The technological symphony played on, each note a complex dialogue between species separated by unimaginable distances, yet united by the most fundamental drive of intelligent life, the quest to understand. The moment of discovery came without warning. Deep within the restricted sector, the computational network began to unfold like a multidimensional bloom of pure information. What had been perceived as empty space transformed into a living archive of knowledge that defied every previous understanding of communication and data storage. Dr. Imani Okoro's scientific instruments erupted in a symphony of complex readings. Holographic displays filled with patterns so intricate they seemed to breathe, mathematical constructs that existed simultaneously as data, energy, and something entirely beyond traditional comprehension. "It's not just a network," she breathed, her voice a mixture of scientific wonder and profound realization. "It's a living repository of knowledge that spans entire evolutionary cycles of civilizations." Captain Alina Reyes approached the primary analysis station, her strategic mind already parsing the implications. Lieutenant Marcus Chen worked furiously, creating adaptive computational interfaces that could potentially interpret the massive information cascade. The network revealed itself in layers. Each computational stratum represented epochs of scientific understanding, technological achievements from civilizations that had risen and fallen across millions of years. It was a cosmic library that contained the collective knowledge of species long forgotten, preserved in a state of quantum permanence. The information density is beyond anything we've ever conceptualized, Lieutenant Chen reported. His fingers moved across quantum interface panels that seemed to reshape themselves with each new discovery. We're talking about computational storage that makes our most advanced systems look like primitive counting devices. Fragments of history began to emerge, complete technological blueprints for faster-than-light travel. Detailed genetic archives of species that had gone extinct millions of years ago. Computational models that suggested fundamental laws of physics were far more malleable than previously understood. Dr. Okoro's hands moved through holographic displays, tracing complex information pathways. This isn't just stored data, she explained. It's a living, adaptive network that continues to process and understand itself. Each piece of information is connected in ways that suggest a form of collective intelligence we've never imagined. The alien commanders who had initially attacked the Defiance now watched in stunned silence. Their most advanced sensor arrays were struggling to comprehend the information being revealed. Captain Reyes recognized the profound nature of their discovery. This was more than a technological archive. It was a potential Rosetta Stone of galactic evolution, a comprehensive record of intelligent life's journey through the universe. The network appears to be self-maintaining, Lieutenant Chen observed. It's not just storing information, it's actively preserving and potentially developing knowledge across unimaginable timescales. Holographic projections showed the network's complexity. Computational threads stretched across multiple dimensions, creating information structures that seemed to exist beyond traditional understanding of space and time. Each strand was a potential pathway to understanding, a bridge between known and unknown scientific frontiers. Dr. Okoro's excitement was palpable. "Look at the interconnectivity," she said, pointing to displays that showed information pathways more complex than any neural network ever conceived. This is a form of collective intelligence that transcends individual species limitations. The ship's primary computing system began generating preliminary translation matrices. Complex mathematical models attempted to decode the network's fundamental communication protocols, a task that would have been impossible for any previous technological system. "We're not just observing," Captain Reyes noted. "We're establishing first contact with a form of intelligence that exists beyond our current comprehension." Layers of information continued to unfold. Technological blueprints that suggested methods of energy generation beyond current understanding. Genetic archives that contained the evolutionary history of countless species. Computational models that challenged fundamental assumptions about the nature of consciousness and information storage. Lieutenant Chen's computational interfaces were working at levels that pushed the boundaries of human technological capability. "Adaptive learning protocols are expanding exponentially," he reported. "We're developing translation matrices for information systems that previously existed beyond our comprehension." The restricted sector was transforming before their eyes. What had been perceived as a dangerous, forbidden zone was revealing itself as the most significant scientific discovery in galactic history. Dr. Okoro summarized the profound moment. "We're witnessing the ultimate archive of intelligent life, a network that preserves not just information, but the very essence of scientific and cultural evolution." Captain Reyes understood the deeper significance. This was more than a technological discovery. It was a bridge of understanding that transcended individual species limitations, a testament to the power of collective knowledge and exploration. The cosmic library continued to unfold, each revelation promising to reshape humanity's understanding of its place in the universe. The Galactic Concordance Assembly convened in an emergency session that would reshape interstellar diplomacy forever. Holographic representations of hundreds of species filled a massive spherical chamber, their collective tension palpable enough to cut with a quantum blade. Captain Alina Reyes stood at the center of the diplomatic maelstrom, her calm demeanor a stark contrast to the chaos surrounding her. Behind her, A comprehensive data display showed the unprecedented discoveries made by the UES Defiance, a technological and scientific breakthrough that challenged every existing paradigm of galactic understanding. Your unilateral exploration of the restricted sector represents an unprecedented threat, declared the core action diplomatic arbiter, its multiple sensory tendrils vibrating with barely contained anger. Holographic displays flickered with historical records of human technological expansion, each instance carefully curated to paint a picture of reckless innovation. Dr. Imani Okoro stepped forward, her scientific passion cutting through diplomatic posturing. "We did not invade," she explained carefully. "We explored. Every technological advancement humanity has ever made has been driven by a fundamental desire to understand, to solve problems, to push beyond existing limitations." Lieutenant Marcus Chen monitored the computational interfaces, tracking the complex web of diplomatic communications. The ship's advanced systems were translating not just language, but the intricate nuances of interspecies communication, cultural contexts, emotional undertones, historical implications. The holographic chamber transformed. Layers of data began to reveal the true nature of the Defiance's discovery, a cosmic archive of knowledge that transcended individual species' limitations. Where other civilizations saw boundaries, humans saw opportunities for understanding. "Your species has a documented history of technological disruption," argued the Xinthari representative, its crystalline form shifting with agitation. Projection streams showed human technological advances that had destabilized established galactic power structures. Captain Reyes recognized the deeper narrative. Humanity's approach had always been fundamentally different. While other species sought to control and restrict, humans approached the unknown with a unique blend of curiosity, adaptability, and collaborative potential. "We're not here to conquer," she stated firmly. "We're here to understand. The technological network we've discovered represents a collective archive of knowledge that belongs to no single species." Dr. Okoro projected comprehensive data models. Each visualization demonstrated how the discovered network could revolutionize scientific understanding across multiple disciplines. Energy generation technologies that could eliminate resource scarcity, medical advances that could cure diseases across hundreds of species, computational frameworks that redefined the understanding of consciousness itself. The diplomatic chamber fell into a profound silence. Lieutenant Chen's computational analysis revealed the deeper implications. "The network is not a weapon," he explained. "It's a comprehensive repository of collective knowledge. Every species represented here has a potential contribution, a piece of a larger universal understanding." Holographic displays showed complex interaction models. Where previous encounters had resulted in conflict, the human approach suggested a path of collaborative exploration. Each technological breakthrough was presented not as a competitive advantage, but as a potential shared resource. The core action arbiter's sensory tendrils began to calm. The initial anger was transforming into something more complex, a mixture of reluctant respect and scientific curiosity. "Humanity has always been different," the Xinthari representative observed. The statement carried multiple layers of meaning, part accusation, part begrudging acknowledgement. Captain Reyes understood the profound moment. This was more than a diplomatic negotiation. It was an opportunity to redefine interstellar relationships, to demonstrate that exploration could be a collaborative journey of mutual understanding. The comprehensive data displays continued to cycle. Technological models, scientific discoveries, potential collaborative frameworks. Each projection telling a story of potential rather than conflict. Dr. Okoro's voice carried a note of hope. "We're not just sharing technology," she explained. "We're offering a pathway to collective understanding. Every species has a unique perspective, a unique contribution to this cosmic archive of knowledge." Lieutenant Chen's computational interfaces continued to process the complex diplomatic exchanges. The ship's systems were doing more than translation. They were creating adaptive communication models that bridged fundamental differences. As the diplomatic session continued, one thing became increasingly clear. Humanity's approach to the unknown was fundamentally transformative, not through conquest, but through an insatiable desire to understand, to connect, to expand collective knowledge. The universe watched and waited as a new chapter of interstellar exploration began to unfold. The research station orbiting the restricted sector became a beacon of unprecedented cooperation. Species that had been locked in centuries of diplomatic tension now worked side by side, their collective curiosity overriding generations of mistrust. Captain Alina Reyes watched from the central observation deck as representatives from over 30 different civilizations collaborated on decoding the cosmic network. What had begun as a potential conflict had transformed into the most significant scientific endeavor in galactic history. Dr. Imani Okoro moved between research teams, her multilingual communication implants allowing her to bridge complex scientific discussions across multiple species communication protocols. Each team brought unique perspectives, biological, computational, philosophical, to the massive collaborative effort. The network isn't just storing information, she explained to a group of researchers from the crystalline Zinthera civilization and the energy-based Luminary Collective. It's a living archive that adapts, learns, and potentially communicates in ways we're just beginning to understand. Lieutenant Marcus Chen's computational systems worked overtime, creating adaptive interfaces that could translate not just languages, but entire conceptual frameworks. Holographic displays showed complex mathematical models that danced with possibilities, each projection revealing new layers of potential understanding. The research station itself was a marvel of collaborative engineering. Sections were carefully designed to accommodate the diverse environmental needs of multiple species. Atmospheric zones shifted seamlessly, gravitational fields adjusted instantaneously, radiation levels modulated to ensure comfortable working conditions for beings with radically different physiological requirements. A core action lead researcher, its multiple sensory tendrils carefully interfacing with holographic computational displays, made a breakthrough that sent waves of excitement through the collaborative teams. Look at the quantum entanglement patterns, the researcher announced. Its communication translated through multiple linguistic matrices. The network doesn't just store information. It maintains active connections across what we previously considered impossible dimensional barriers. Dr. Okoro's eyes lit up with scientific passion. It's not a static archive, she responded, her hands moving through complex holographic projections. It's a living, adaptive system of collective knowledge. Lieutenant Chen's computational analysis began to reveal deeper implications. The network was more than a technological marvel. It was potentially a form of collective intelligence that transcended individual species' understanding of consciousness, communication, and existence. Collaborative teams worked on multiple levels of investigation. Biological researchers mapped potential genetic archives. Computational experts decoded complex information storage mechanisms. Philosophical teams explored the theoretical implications of a knowledge network that seemed to exist beyond traditional understanding of time and space. Captain Reyes recognized the profound nature of their collaborative effort. This was more than a scientific discovery. It was a testament to the power of collective exploration, of putting aside differences to pursue a greater understanding. The research station became a microcosm of potential interstellar cooperation. Species that had previously been locked in centuries of tension now shared meals, exchanged scientific insights, and worked together with a sense of collective purpose that transcended individual civilizational boundaries. Dr. Okoro facilitated a cross-species research symposium, her presentation revealing the network's most extraordinary characteristic. We're not just observing a technological archive, she explained. We're potentially communicating with a form of collective intelligence that has been preserving knowledge across unimaginable timescales. Holographic displays showed complex interaction models. mathematical patterns that suggested the network could potentially learn, adapt, and communicate in ways that challenged fundamental understanding of intelligence and information storage. Lieutenant Chen's computational interfaces continued to generate increasingly complex translation matrices. The network appears to be responding to our collaborative research, he reported. It's not just a passive archive. It seems to be actively engaging with our investigation. The implications were staggering. Each breakthrough suggested that the restricted sector was more than a dangerous, forbidden zone. It was a cosmic library, a potential bridge of understanding that could reshape humanity's and every other species' understanding of knowledge, intelligence, and collective existence. Captain Rees understood the deeper significance of their collaborative effort. This was a moment that could define the future of interstellar relationships, a demonstration that exploration, when approached with curiosity, respect, and a genuine desire to understand, could overcome any obstacle. As the research continued, the cosmic network seemed to pulse with potential, a living testament to the power of collective discovery, of putting aside differences to pursue a greater understanding of the universe. The most extraordinary journey of exploration was just beginning. 5 years after the initial discovery, the universe looked fundamentally different. The cosmic knowledge network that the UES Defiance had first encountered had transformed interstellar civilization in ways no one could have predicted. Captain Elena Rees stood on the observation deck of the Galactic Collaborative Research Center, watching as ships from hundreds of different species moved in carefully choreographed patterns. What had once been a restricted sector now served as the primary hub of collaborative scientific exploration. Dr. Imani Okoro approached, her steps measured and purposeful. "The latest analysis is complete," she reported. Holographic displays materialized, showing the exponential growth of shared scientific understanding that had occurred since their initial discovery. Lieutenant Marcus Chen joined them, his computational interfaces constantly monitoring the complex networks of interstellar communication. "We've decoded another layer of the network," he said, excitement barely contained in his professional tone. "The potential applications are beyond anything we could have imagined." The transformation was complete. Where previous galactic interactions had been marked by suspicion and territorial boundaries, a new era of collaborative exploration had emerged. The Cosmic Knowledge Network served as a living bridge between civilizations, a repository of collective wisdom that transcended individual species' limitations. It wasn't just about the technology, Captain Rees reflected. It was about showing that exploration is a collaborative journey. Holographic displays traced the remarkable changes. Scientific breakthroughs that had once taken centuries now emerged in months. Medical technologies that could cure previously incurable diseases. Energy solutions that addressed resource scarcity. Computational frameworks that redefined understanding of consciousness and communication. Dr. Okoro pulled up a comprehensive visualization. "Look at the interaction patterns," she said. Intricate networks of light showed how different species were now sharing knowledge, solving problems collectively in ways that would have been impossible just a few years earlier. The Galactic Collaborative Research Center was a testament to this new approach. Designed to accommodate the diverse physiological and environmental needs of multiple species, it represented the pinnacle of cooperative engineering. Sections shifted and adapted, creating perfect working conditions for beings that might require completely different atmospheric compositions, gravitational fields, or sensory environments. Lieutenant Chen's computational analyses continued to reveal new layers of the cosmic network. "It's not just storing information," he explained. "It's an active, adaptive system of collective intelligence that grows more complex with each interaction." Captain Rees understood the profound nature of their discovery. Humanity's approach, driven by curiosity, adaptability, and a genuine desire to understand, had fundamentally reshaped interstellar relationships. Diplomatic sessions that had once been tense confrontations were now collaborative strategy meetings. Species that had been locked in centuries of conflict now worked together, on solving fundamental challenges facing the galaxy. Dr. Okoro presented the latest collaborative research findings. Technological models showed potential solutions to challenges that had seemed insurmountable. Climate restoration technologies, faster-than-light communication networks, medical treatments that could address genetic challenges across multiple species. We're not just sharing technology, she explained to a gathered group of researchers. We're creating a collective framework of understanding that transcends individual species limitations. Lieutenant Chen's computational interfaces continued to generate increasingly complex translation and collaboration matrices. The cosmic network responded, seeming to pulse with a form of intelligence that defied traditional understanding. The research center became a living example of what collective exploration could achieve. Species that had previously been unable to communicate now worked side by side, their unique perspectives combining to create solutions that no single civilization could have developed alone. Captain Reyes reflected on the journey. What had begun as a potentially catastrophic encounter in a restricted sector had transformed into the most significant moment of collective discovery in galactic history. Exploration isn't about conquest, she often told young researchers. It's about understanding. It's about recognizing that our differences are our greatest strength. The holographic displays continued to cycle, showing the exponential growth of shared knowledge. Each projection told a story of possibility, of potential, of a future defined not by boundaries, but by collective curiosity. As the sun set on the research center, casting long shadows across its adaptive architecture, the cosmic knowledge network seemed to pulse with potential. A living testament to the power of collaborative exploration, of putting aside differences to pursue a greater understanding of the universe. The most extraordinary journey was ongoing, a continuous path of discovery, connection, and collective growth.